Welcome into another episode of the WestsLife Podcast. I am your host, Josh Barnett. We are brought to you by Holman Barnes Group, which includes West Ashfield Leagues, the best place to watch the game live and loud tomorrow night as we take on the Dragons, which we are previewing tonight on this episode. So check out holmanbarnesgroup.com.au for more info. Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram if you're on those socials at WestsLife Pod. And in those profiles, you'll find our Linktree link where you can find absolutely everything that we do and support and take part in the show at patreon.com/WestLife. And shouts to all the people watching us right now live on YouTube. If you want to check us out live at 8:30 p.m. Monday and Wednesday evenings, and you can comment like our awesome fans do. I can see all our regulars rolling in right now in the comments. And that's it. What am I missing? Patreon.com/WestLife if you want to support and take part in the show as well. And my trusty co-hosts are with me tonight. Well, I did say that my mate J-Ben's Dragons fan and Mr. Summernats himself was going to come on the show tonight, but he's had to pull out last minute because his daughter's actually quite ill at the moment. So shouts to J-Benz and hope young Sav feels better soon. But so just the three ugly mugs that you're used to tonight. But which ugly mug do I go to first? Roberto. No, he's actually looking pretty suave tonight. The hair's looking nice on that nice red background. Mr. Bashara, how are you on this Monday evening? We've got a little bit of signing news, a little bit of something positive to talk about for the West Tigers for once.
Yeah, I'm okay, Josh. How are you guys? Aaron, everyone. Wednesday night, by the way, mate, not Monday night. But yeah, I'm okay. We've got some good news today, which is exciting.
Did I say it was Monday?
I think you did. I could be wrong. Maybe it's my hearing.
I think I said Monday and Wednesdays.
Oh, perhaps. But
well, that's what I meant to say. Monday and Wednesday nights we are live.
All good, all good. Yeah, look, it's been a chaotic 48 hours. A lot of turmoil, a lot of unrest, a lot of phone calls, a lot of text messages, usual crap. But, obviously we had those signings this afternoon, which I'm sure you'll get into, that hopefully will, lift the fan base. I mean, we don't want to get our hopes up too much, but I mean, it's got some other effects and, other flow-on effects that I think will be positive for the club.
And Mr. Thompson coming in, you'd be very excited because we get to preview not one NRL game, but two NRL games this weekend. We're heading to the NRLW, I was going to say premiere. It's not a premiere. It's a launch, I guess, season first ever official game for our NRLW team. And can't wait to go to Combank Stadium on Sunday with you and cheer on the girls.
Yeah, g'day Josh, g'day Rob. Yeah, I'm super excited for the girls to debut this weekend. It's going to be a very, very special occasion. Hopefully a lot of Tigers fans can pack out Combank and outnumber the Eels fans. So, yeah, looking forward to that. 2 games to preview. And once the men's finals start, we'll still have a couple of NRLW games at least. So that'll keep us going late in the season as well. I'm looking forward to all of it. Bring it on.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We get a couple of weeks of finals as well. So.
Yeah, get some extra footy, something to cheer about. So how good. Right, West Ashfield, our friends. So they have a promotion at the moment. They have $222,000 to win this July, and they tell me the major jackpot is up to $60,000, which they're drawing Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. So that's perfect. Go into West Ashfield, swipe your membership card, accumulate tickets, and you literally go in the draw and you can win $60K. So, and then watch the Tigers play the Dragons.
Oh, what a great promotion. Pity I can't be there tomorrow night. If I was anywhere close by, I'd definitely go there and watch the game just for that chance alone.
For more information, holmanbarnesgroup.com.au. Holman Barnes Group, bringing people together. And yeah, it's obviously the best place to watch the game tomorrow night if you're not heading down to the Gong. Righto, and on to some news. This club, let's start positive. Let's go the Fainu brothers first. So, they have joined the club on a 4-year deal. It's fully official. No more speculation. It's all locked in. 4 years apiece, I believe. So, Rob, you were speaking to the manager recently, and basically he wanted the club to kind of give a few assurances to the boys, and obviously the club has met those needs.
Yeah, we had a good long 20-minute entertaining conversation a couple of weeks ago. As I've discussed previously, he was quite a little bit upset over the Schuster stuff, and he was just concerned about the direction the club was heading in. And look, long and the short of it, mate, he had the bargaining power. He didn't want to send his players to a club that he didn't think was going in the right direction. He's one of the people that's been pushing the ex-Titans coach Barrow. They're a bit concerned about player development there, and plus the fact that he's got other young players there. So, he was quite vocal about, like, we were definitely at the bottom of the tree a couple of weeks ago. But I tried to reinforce with him, as much as people hate. I tried to say to him, mate, you've got the bargaining power. Like, you've got, if you can get what you want, you've got other kids there. Like, make it happen. If you want to support your mate Scott Fulton, you reckon you're close mates with him, like, what are you doing sending those two players elsewhere? So, look, whatever's happened, he's obviously had plenty of discussions with Lee since we spoke, and Justin and all these guys, and they've got it over the line. So, look, hopefully these guys, have the talent that everyone says they do. Like, I've seen some highlights from, their under 18 and under 19 stuff, and, some of it looks great. But again, it's schoolboy football. It's totally different to NRL. But the good thing for me, Josh, I mean, in terms of this player manager, I mean, he's got other guys there like Josh Folletti and Talon De Silva, and obviously, like, knowing these guys are going to go there, the Fainu brothers, well, that kind of should settle any talk about these other kids potentially leaving down the track. So, look, I just think it's a step in the right direction. We keep talking about a youth policy at the club. Admittedly, we talk about a youth policy coming through our own pathways, but it's good to finally see some youth coming through. And Benji's now got his chance to put his fingerprints all over these guys and get them to be the players that he wants, as opposed to getting guys who are 25, 30 and pretty much set in their ways. So I just thought it was a positive signing today. I know it's big money. I know it's risky, but, as people are saying on TV tonight, we're quite desperate, but, we do lack halves, and they are a rare commodity. So having one of them that's a half, I think it's a good signing.
There's a bit of a hater on our Facebook, Ryan Duchateau on the Facebook, saying Rob is a Fainu hater. Do your research. I don't recall us ever, any of us ever banging out these kids. If anything,
not at all.
We don't. We actually honestly don't know that much about it. And as Rob said, they're just kids. So it's
all I've said previously is that, and it's not about the Fainus directly, Josh. All I've said previously is Luke Brooks was touted as the next Andrew Johns. We don't want this to be the same thing again. If this guy does his research, I've also said that the brother who's in jail is probably potentially the best hooker that I ever would have seen. I was so glowing of his talent. I thought this guy could do anything, and he was that good that Manly moved on Appy Coruscant. That's how good that brother was, who unfortunately, he's stuck in jail now. So I don't know where he gets the hate thing from, but that's all right. I've got plenty of detractors and haters at the moment, so they can keep hating me. It's all good.
Are you excited for these young kids coming along to the club?
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to get some new young talent to go with the young talent we've already got. We're building that really good core of youngsters in the likes of Junior Tupou, these two boys, Talon De Silva, who else am I thinking off the top of my head? Matamua. So there's a few there that we can really start building a club around while we've got the experienced guys there to lead the way and things like that. Like Rob, I haven't seen too many highlights of these guys, because the problem with the youngsters is not too many of their games are televised or streamed, so you're very limited in what you can actually watch in regards to replays and highlights and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do. I have a feeling they'll, at the very least, both be in flag next year, and they'll start looking to progress through the grades, and it'll be good to see how they go. 4 years, so I think Samuel is 19 at the moment, and I think Latu is 18, so they'll be here until they're 23 and 22 at least. So that's good to see.
Righto. So this club, the Common Simpsons reference that's used a lot. Can you just go 5 minutes without embarrassing yourself? So not long after that came out, we heard that Chris Lawrence, club legend, has walked away from the West Tigers after apparently a dummy spat from Lee Hadjibantalis. Apparently during the Cowboys' loss, he texted Lee, "You can't be happy with this," and that kind of spiraled out of control. So, Rob, do you know anything more about this than is detailed in the? It's a very buried story too. It's kind of you posted this in the Discord earlier, like screenshots of it, and I struggled to find it. It was buried within. I notice a lot of journalists doing this actually. They write stories like a blog now, and it's multiple stories within stories, which is kind of, I don't know, it doesn't seem to really make sense for me. I was trying to find it, but it was actually really hard. You think they'd do individual stories, but like it's very different. They're kind of setting it out like a newspaper. But what am I? I'm not a professional journalist anymore, so I haven't got a clue. But back to Chrissy Lawrence, Roberto, what's the go here?
Yeah, look, one of our fans of the show, Shay, DM'd it to me a couple of hours ago. I hadn't heard anything about it at all. So I basically come across this about 6:30 tonight on a Wednesday night. Look, I don't know much about it. I don't think there's much to a comment about what Chris said there. Like what Chris said to Hadjipantelis allegedly, according to that article, isn't really inflammatory. It's just like a club legend who's concerned about what the hell's going on in the club. So there was obviously some noise and unrest before he sent that there. And then obviously to cop that, 74-0 shellacking, wouldn't sit well with a legend of the club, who came back from, bloody broken jaws, broken faces, all sorts of things early from injury. And again, it's like to what I said on Monday night, guys, we don't seem to treat our legends very well. So who knows how heated it is? Who knows if it's a beat up? But I mean, the fact that he's parted ways when he's meant to be an ambassador of the club is not a good look. And maybe that's why you couldn't find it, Josh. Maybe it's not, being put out there too much, but people are trying to hide it.
Smiling Sane just mentioned, no, it wasn't Smiling Sane. Who mentioned it? Rob on YouTube mentioned that Chrissy Lawrence posted an Instagram story. He's working with the Tigers Cubs, and he's right. Chrissy Lawrence posted 5 hours ago, literally a photo of him speaking about life off the football field with the West Tigers juniors. So weird. But I don't know, unless it's happened literally tonight that he's walked away, but he posted that literally, what's that make it, about 3:30 this afternoon. So
well, could he still be working with the Cubs? Could he still be working with the Cubs, Josh, and left his ambassadorship role? I mean,
the photo. Well, the photo is, yeah, maybe the photos he posted there. Looks like he's at this Zurich Center. So yeah, who knows?
Like I said, I only came across it a couple of hours ago. So interesting.
A last bit of news is Benji Marshall fronted the board and outlined his vision for the club. So a bit of a quote from Mr. Hadjimantalis. He said, "Benji's skill is in identifying strengths and weaknesses in the club, especially in our playing roster, and addressing those challenges. His football IQ continues to impress, and he has exceeded all our expectations in terms of his development as a future head coach. He has a vision for the club. I could not have been more impressed with his commitment and his passion and his drive to turn the club around. I have absolutely no doubt that we have in our midst our long-term NRL coach." How'd you like my Lee Hadjibantalis impression? Was that accurate?
It's very much lacking a fedora.
A fedora, yeah. I need the hat and jacket to go with the Joe Pesci outfit, Rob. So I don't know. Is there anything in this, Rob?
Oh, look, for me, look, he addressed the board a year ago, and they were all impressed with him. I think this was just a, reassurance more than anything else as to what he's done, what he's seen. Look, the reality, guys, and like I say, I'm not knocking Benji. I think Benji will be a great coach. I've told you that I've heard those within the club, and I'm talking like our captain, etc. They love him. They think he's right up there. But we've got to look at it realistically. If I mean, you love your motor racing, Josh. I mean, if you put me in one of those V8 supercars, up at Bathurst against 16 other people, and I've never driven a V8 car before, and I had an expert, someone who's a 4-time winner there, sitting in the passenger seat. I mean, where do you think I'm going to run? If it's my first time around the track, I mean, I'm going to run
You
last.
wouldn't get.
So
you'd stall the car. You wouldn't get out of pit lane.
The expectations are too hard. Okay, the expectations and the reality that we were going to go bang like that straight away are probably too hard. I had a bit of hope if we won the first couple of games, we could build on that incentive and the fact that it's all brand new and everyone's like euphoric about this new situation. But I also thought if we lost the first couple of games, it could turn to shit, which it did. But look, Benji's a long-term coach, but I think we need those guys above to be open and transparent with the coaches. The way they went about Scott Fulton is wrong. That should have been up front. So I don't know. I think everyone there, from not just the coaches and the management, but even the players, they're all trying their best, to get action, to seek action. I can tell you guys, right now that this week, Appy Coruscant's camp met with Justin Pascoe. He wanted some things to happen, which, he's pretty much said, I want experienced halves. I don't care how good they are. I need experienced halves. I'll take care of the rest. So when you've got the captain of the club and players caring and initiating conversation with the CEO or with other people, really should be the other way around, to be honest. But it's good that Appy has taken it upon himself, because if he's waiting for these other stooges to do something, fuck all gets done. But that sort of action is what we need. Everyone there is desperate to get success. They're all trying their best. So, look, I just hope we can turn it around. It's going to be interesting to see the dynamic of what happens with Benji and Scott Fulton over the coming months. But the fact that, we've got these 2 young signatures, kids signed today, that's a step in the right direction. So hopefully these guys can put their differences aside and work together.
Yeah, 100%. That does it for our news. So our time for our shout out to our friends at Mobile Corp. So they are formerly MLC Phones, which sponsored the Tigers in the mid-90s. They support local businesses by managing their IT, their networks, and their mobile devices. If you are a local business owner looking for a partner who will take away the hassle of dealing with IT issues, make sure you have cybersecurity in place. Handle all your mobile device needs, and Mobile Corp can help. Mobile Corp is a family-run business and long-time supporter and former sponsor of the West Tigers. Reach out to our mate Stephen and the team at Mobile Corp. Check out mobilecorp.com.au. That's mobilecorp.com.au. And shouts to Ciro and Shane Walker up on the screen. Righto, time to preview our game tomorrow night against the St George Illawarra Dragons in Wollongong. As do you want to do the honours and read out the team list for me?
Okay, so I will just say that this is the team list before the 24 hours before kickoff changes were made. So Jareem at fullback, David Nofaluma and Junior Tupou on the wings, Stafford Toa and Tommy Talau in the centres, Dane Laurie into the halves with Brandon Wakeham, Stefano and David Clemmer are the front rowers, Appy is the hooker, Isaiah Papali'i and John Bateman in the second row, Sean Bloor has been elevated to lock, Talon De Silva, Fanua Pole, Alex Seyfarth, and Alex Twal are on the bench, with Atasi James, Jake Simpkin, Will Smith, Asu Kepaoa, and Justin Matamua in the reserves.
More Sean Bloor. Let's go. So as you mentioned, as it has changed in the last hour before we went on to air. So Fanua Pole has actually been moved to 18th man, and Atasi James has moved on to the bench. So what's going on there? I don't know. Maybe just a rest for Fanua, I guess. Like if he was in trouble or something, he would probably be deleted from the team. altogether, but who knows? It might be just given the guy a rest. He's been playing big minutes for a while now, and they're going to try Sean at 13 and didn't see any point on putting him on the bench. That's my read on that. You guys got a theory at all?
Don't have a theory on why he's missing, but that's a big out because we all know what an impact he brings from the bench. He runs really hard. He's got some second phase in him, good footwork. So, look, I'm not saying James can't do a job, but, Fanua Polo's a lot more mobile and got a lot more minutes in him. So, a little bit disheartened that he's out because the team they named this week, given the pod we did on Monday, couldn't have asked for more. We got the change on right wing. We got Sean starting, which is great, bigger minutes, so we'll get most likely 2 stints. So really happy. I couldn't have picked a better 17, to be honest. I've had a few people mention, I'd rather have Naden in there. But the truth is, and I've, you guys know, if anyone who listens to the show regularly knows, I've been a Naden fan for the last year and a half. But his form, the last 3 or 4 games that he has played, has been pretty awful by his standards. He's a lot better. So I actually think Tom Talau's probably a better selection than Naden. And I know he's leaving for Manly, and I've bagged Tom Talau a little bit, but I think it was basically the best 17 we could have named given who's available.
As what changes? Obviously, Dane Laurie in the halves, giving him another crack at it. There are reports that he's going to back to Penrith next year, so he's already got the jersey. We know that. So, what are your thoughts on Dane in for Will Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith wasn't all that great in defence, and I think Dane Laurie may offer a bit more defensively there. And he was a halves in the juniors, so he does have a bit of experience there, and I think he might pair well with Wakeham. Hopefully they can do a bit of work off the back of Appy, and I'm glad to see Talon get another game. I have a feeling he was just getting a rest as well, and now he's back in the team. And I don't know, maybe that means the writing's on the wall for Jake Simkin as well, given the fact that he's been dropped out and could be at risk of being moved on at the end of his contract. I'm not sure if that's the end of this year or next year, but yeah, the changes we've made are good ones. Noffa back in. I know people haven't been too fond of Noffa defensively over the years, but this year in most of the games he's played, especially since the Penrith game in Bathurst, his defense has actually been quite solid, and it's been a team first version of Noffa that we were missing for quite some time. So yeah, some good changes, some good ins. Looking forward to hopefully getting a win on Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like that Wakeham kick for Asu Kepa-Owa a couple of weeks ago, I think Nofaluma, it's a big, we'll never ever know the answer to this, but I think Nofaluma scores the try. I think it's just, and then the finish Kepa-Owa couldn't get last week in the game. I think Noffa gets that one as well. So Noffa, yeah, like you said, people have bagged out Noffa, but he's a big part of this team and a big, big in for us. So definitely underrated. My guy Sean Bloor at 13 will be interesting to see how he goes. He's obviously been playing in the front row rotation off the bench. So yeah, so seeing maybe they're going to unleash him and let him. He's got a hell of an offload and plenty of skill. So be interesting to see how he goes in the 13 spot. So as one of the Patreon mentioned in the Discord, they said that someone mentioned I was going to go out and buy a Sean Bloor number 13 jersey. Well, he keeps changing numbers. If he could choose his own number, I could buy a Sean Bloor just So choose your own. You should let them pick and stick with their numbers. I want a Sean Bloor jersey. That's all I ask. Righto, on to the St George Illawarra Dragons. Take it away, Az.
Tyrell Sloan is in at fullback. Matthew Fine and Michaeli Ravalawa are the wingers. Moses Sully and Zach Lomax in the centres. Talatau Amone and Ben Hunt in the halves. Francis Mollo and Blake Laurie are the front rowers, with our old friend Jacob Little at hooker. Billy Burns and Dan Russell are the second rowers, with Jack DeBellin at lock. Moses Mbai, Michael Molo, Toby Couchman and Jack Bird are the bench. Zane Musgrove, Sione Finau, Ryan Couchman, Max Fine and Jaden Hunt are the reserves. And as for their reserves, I believe they've dropped out everyone except Musgrove and Finau.
Okay. You didn't say Moses Mbai or Zane Musgroves are former friends, like Liz said. Call them former
Were
friends.
they any good?
Doesn't matter. I like, in terms of, I think Moses Mbai was okay for us. He just wasn't worth the
Overpaid.
dollars that he were
Yeah.
on. I think he was a little bit harshly criticized for us, and also I met him at a members function one night. I sat on a table with him. He's just incredibly intelligent and lovely guy. So I quite like Moses Mbai, but he just
former
wasn't.
Tigers in the 19 they've got left for the game.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Sully as well. Obviously, he's a former Tiger as well, but yeah, he's not a former friend. He's I wouldn't. He's an enemy now. I would say.
Acrimonious circumstances. The way he left the club, that was pretty poor. So,
Roberto, what are your thoughts on this St George Illawarra side?
Look, they've got a bit of strike in the back line. I think we have a distinct edge in the back row, like a massive edge actually. I think we're going to try and play really quickly, up tempo through the middle. And the good thing about our selections this week, even though he's not a 5'8" as such, typically, I think Dane Laurie will play like a bit of a fullback. He'll be snipping off the back of the ruck. He'll always be there to pick up some second phase from one of the forwards. So I just think we're really going to play up tempo through the middle, which is why Coruscant is going to be there, why De Silva's going to be there, and I just think we'll run these guys ragged, and it's going to be on the back of Ben Hunt if they're to win. Maybe that idiot troll that came on at the start of the show had Fainu confused with Finai, because I've bagged the shit out of Finai. He's like literally the worst winger I've ever seen. And he makes me money every week, except for the late positional switch against Cronulla when he got moved to the centres that I wasn't aware of, and Jesse Ramian got 2 tries on him. But I don't think this guy's opponent has not scored on him in the last 7 or 8 weeks. So he's very easy for Robstrdamous. Like, Finai's just absolutely shit. So I'll be getting on an offer to get one or 2 tries this week. So maybe Finai and Fainu got confused. But look, other than that, guys, look, we're desperate. Saints are desperate too. I mean, if Saints win this, they avoid the wooden spoon, because even though we'll be 4 points to diff, given the for and against, etc., we need to win 3 games to overtake them. But I really do think we can take them. And I love what Appy Coruscant does for this club, and I just think he'll have the boys pretty up. And as sad as it is to see players upset, when you see guys like Appy and Dave Clemmer looking dejected in the team, you know how much they want to win. I just think this is a perfect opportunity, and it might be the last game we win this year, and I'm actually expecting us to win this week. So, I just hope we get off to a good start. We don't get a try taken off us for the wrong reasons in the first couple of minutes, and we just go to the front and never give up the lead this week.
I hope we beat the Dolphins. That might be the last game we go to this year, because I think it's our last game. It's our only home game in Sydney left, isn't it? The Dolphins game? Yeah,
that's right.
So,
is that a CommBank, is it?
Yeah. So hopefully we
that's
can win
4 weeks away.
that one. So, yeah. So who do you reckon's got the better human at 13? Jack DePellin or Sean Bloor? Who's the better human? $1 for my guy.
Tongue in cheek, I'm sure that.
I'd have to agree with that.
New South Wales Cup, they have a bye. Jersey Flegg, they have a bye also. Not sure how that works. How it doesn't fit with our buys, but whatever. NRL W, so 12 p.m. on Sunday. The girls are taking on the Eels, as three team lists for you to read out this week. But take it away.
Okay, so co-captain Botil Vetti Welsh at fullback, Jakaya Whitfield and Josie Lanaz are the wingers, Rakia Horn and Leanne Tafanga are the centres, Pauline Pillay Rasabale and Emily Curtin in the halves, Sarah Togatuki and Christian Pio in the front row, Ebony Pryor is at hooker, other co-captain Kezi Apps and Eliza Salata are the second rowers, with Nevada George at lock. The bench is Sophie Curtin, Lozana Lutu, Taylor Osborne, and Falau Vaki.
Yeah, of course, friend of the show, Tess Staines was probably going to be picked in the outside backs, but she's, I believe, dislocated her finger, I think I saw. So she's out for a couple of weeks, unfortunately, won't be taking part. But as you're the NRLW expert, I do, well, I thought I did have the parasite, but
I can pull it up.
yeah, what probably don't need to read it out fully, but what do you think our chances are in this one? We've got a few big names in our side.
I mean, it's tricky to judge how things are going to pan out at the start of a season, especially when it's the first season the club is ever playing. I am looking forward to seeing how they go. Of course, it's going to be a really interesting game. The good thing about us getting para in the first round is that they have so many new combinations they need to work out as well. Because I think by my rough count, we stole, it might have been something like 7 of their players from their squad last year in our squad now. So yeah, and so they've got a lot of work to do to fill in some gaps in their combinations. We do have the second youngest squad in the NRLW, so that's they're going to take a bit of time to gel. There's obviously some work to do around connections and everything because they didn't score a point in the trial, but I'm sure Noddy will have them up and ready to go for this one. I don't think he'll need to. I think the whole squad will be up and ready for this one. I'm hopeful of a win. I'd love to see them get a win, especially in their inaugural game. So I'm very much looking forward to heading down there and cheering for them.
Same. And shouts to the Curtin girls' dad, Matt. He follows us on Twitter and interacts with us on Twitter. Very proud dad. His latest post where he posted the picture of himself with the girls with their jersey presentations. Very, very cool. So yeah, can't wait to head there on Sunday as well. Any thoughts on this game, Roberto? Are you going to come out support the girls?
I'm not sure yet. It's still a bit early to know if I'm going to get out there. Look, Parramatta won their last trial, and as Aaron said, we didn't score a point in our trial. We've got 7 new faces in the team, but I'm expecting an ambush from our girls, and I think the boys and the girls are going to do a double this week. So that's going to be a rare commodity, but I think the girls can get up.
There you go. Bit of an extra Robstrdamous as we head into that segment right now. What have you got for us this week?
Okay, guys. Well, look, I've got 2 things, but I'm going to go with what we've got on the screen there. So, an anytime try score a multi over 3 different games. I like, as I said, David Nofaluma should get some sort of easy ball against Finai. I'm pretty sure we'll get a try there. Watini Zalesniak against Canberra. I really think Croker's going to have a hard time with Rocco. That's the left centre versus the right centre, and Popawati's going to have to give Croker a bit of help. So I'm pretty sure DWZ will get some clean ball and an easy try there. And I've gone for Isaiah Tago for Penrith. He is just in outstanding form. He's running like a beast. He's going to be up against Jacob Carraz. Penrith are, going to have Ivan Cleary back. So I just thought I'd go those 3 try scorers. But if we're doing our own game, guys, I would go Tigers to win, Nofaluma to score a try, and hate to say it, Ravalawa to score a try because our, left edge has been pretty shoddy in defence, and I think we've had basically 11 or 12 tries scored against us in the last 4 weeks by the opposing winger. So with our own game, Nofa, Ravalawa, and Tigers to win. But in this other one, at least it'll keep you going for a few days if Nofa gets us off to a good start tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'm just putting in those 3 try scorers, Targo, DWZ.
Probably about $6 roughly.
544 I'm getting on
there you go.
SB. So 603 for the power play. So bang on, 6 to 1. That's pretty good. So they seem pretty safe bets. 3 pretty
it's a bit risky putting a centre in. Like, it's easy to put your wingers in, but I just feel like Tago's in great form right now. So yeah, I'd chuck him in there.
So much.
Yeah, Dog's not offering much as well. Penrith getting some players back. They'll have all their strike back this week. Tago, Crichton, Luai, Cleary. Yeah, they'll be hard to stop.
For sure. Right, on to our tips. So obviously we're the first game of this round, and for the first, possibly, maybe round 1 or 2, all three
Round
of us
one.
are tipping round 1. We all tipped the West Tigers round 1, and we're all setting ourselves up for heartbreak in this one. But yeah, I think, like Rob said earlier in the show, that's best team we can throw out there at the moment. I tipped us last week. I thought we were a chance last week, but I think Wollongong, we seem to do pretty well from memory. I think the last game we lost, but before that we beat them just pre-COVID in 21 or 2020? Last two
2020.
those seasons.
It was
2020.
we beat them there the first round of 2020, and I think we had them there the first round of 2021 as well, which I think we might have won. Actually, or
Yeah,
at some point early season in 2021, I think we beat them there. But yeah, I think we played them there last year
and
for a loss.
Yeah, we lost last
2021
year.
was 2021 was a Zach Saney try that we won. I'm pretty sure.
Correct.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and then 2020, I remember because I had a ticket to the game. I was going to drive down to Wollongong to watch the game with Josh, who was meant to be on Joe Ben's meant to be on the show tonight, and COVID was breaking out, and my wife didn't want me to go, so I stayed home, and we were in lockdown literally a week after. So
And last year was the game we had the Kelmer Tuolungi try taken off us for no fucking reason whatsoever, just like last week.
Just like add it to the list of literally one day I'm going to find every footage of West Tigers being fucked over by refereeing decisions. I'm going to make a video. That's my.
It'll go longer than Ben Hur, mate. Let me tell you, if you find it all.
10 hours worth of footage there.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ben Hur, I was watching. This has nothing to do with Ben Hur, but I was watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix last night. It's fucking unreal. It's so good. He wasn't Ben Hur. He was what's the other dude that he played? The Greek god thing. Conan
the Barbarian.
Conan the Barbarian. That's the one. That's what I was trying to think of, which I haven't actually seen. But yeah, we're $2.40 outsiders. So yeah, what's
good odds?
What's Shawnee Bloor for a try? So I normally go Stefano.
maybe.
$7.25 on the one I'm looking on here. That's pretty good odds, I reckon. He's probably going to play close to 80, you'd think, wouldn't you? Being at the 13. So the more minutes, the more likely he is to score a try. So Stefano 8.75. So might put a little money, little bit of money on Blory to get a try.
Gamble responsibly.
We're not. Yeah, we're not. Are we supposed to say that? We're not actually promoting any particular. But yeah, gamble responsibly. Yeah, don't bet your house. Don't bet. What is it? Don't bet. Bet over your head or bet over it, whatever it's called. But anyway, moving on to, we've all tipped the Warriors up against the Canberra Raiders. Warriors at home. I mean, you can't tip against the Warriors at home at the moment. That's my theory. As soon as I say the Warriors are at home, I think I'd tip them against just about anyone at the moment. Maybe Panthers are the only side I wouldn't tip them against. They're just red hot at home.
Yeah, I Josh.
Oop. Sorry, boys, I didn't throw to it. Rob, you go.
No, I was just going to say I can't disagree with you. I think Canberra will give them a tough game, but yeah, you've got to go with the Warriors on form. Your thoughts, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that's making me a little bit trepidatious about this one is the weather. There's apparently a little bit of rain around in New Zealand expected on Friday. So, and there are 2 home games in New Zealand that were wet games against the Roosters and the Rabbits. They didn't perform all that well. I'm expecting them to do a little bit better against the Raiders. But yeah, basically with the Raiders in 4th and the Warriors in 5th at the moment, this game shapes as a real barn burner for a potential top 4 spot if the Warriors win with the rest of their run home, considering they don't have another team inside the top 8 in their final 5 games.
Yeah, they got a good
around their bye. They're a really good shot at top 4.
They've got a bye left, haven't they? I think maybe next week.
They do. They
have
a bye and 5 bottom 9 teams. So
wow,
really good.
Warriors are $7.50 to make the grand final. I reckon that's not a bad Not a
What
bad
are they
bet.
for top four?
To make top four,
Oh, they'd be
$1.50.
bloody short. Yeah, they'd be short.
$1.50. Yeah, because they're highly likely. That's what I thought, to make the grand final and to win minor premiership. They're $23. So they mathematically, how close are they to? They're probably not going to overtake the Panthers, I guess.
They're 2 wins behind the Panthers. Or actually, 1 win behind the Panthers, 2 wins behind the Broncos. But like I said, they've still got that third bye up their sleeve, and the Broncos do as well.
Yeah, because that's, I don't know, the Panthers might pull up stumps even and just rest guys leading into the finals. So who knows? And to win the premiership, $15. The Warriors are looking, they're hitting form at the right time of the year. So righto, South Broncos. I've gone the Broncos. You boys have gone the Rabbitohs. I don't know why did I tip Broncos? I don't know. I've kind of zigged. I normally always tip Rabbitohs and Roosters, and I've kind of said fuck you to those clubs that keep let me down. Whenever I seem to tip them, they don't win. But I don't know why I've tipped the Broncos here. But here we are. Why the Rabbitohs, boys?
It is a Rabbits home game.
That's
on the
right.
Sunshine Coast.
That's right. It's in Queensland. That's why I tipped them, because it's in Queensland. That's why I tipped them. Thanks, Ash.
But the Rabbits ins, I can't go past the Rabbits ins. I mean, I know the Broncos are getting Reece Walsh and I think another player or two back, but the Rabbits with all their Origin ins, Latrell Mitchell is a massive back in as well. So I've gone with the Rabbits.
Did not realise that Latrell.
Yeah,
was back.
I've done the same, Aaron. They've got their 6 best players back. Whether it's from Origin or injury. Brisbane won't be a pushover, obviously. Like, it's going to be a great game to watch. But yeah, I got South and Penrith locked in for a grand final this year. So I'm expecting big things of South for the rest of the year. And I think this is part of a 5-week trip for them. They don't have a home game for 5 weeks. They're travelling, from Sunshine Coast to Perth and back. So they've got a lot of travelling to do. No home games the next few weeks.
Tamworth as well.
Yeah,
I saw they had some ACDC mock thing about their tour, like they call it their around Australia tour, or something. But yeah, best of luck to them. Not really, I hate them. Roosters Titans. I've gone the Titans for an upset of this one. Again, Titans at home. Roosters, I keep fucking tipping them all year, and they keep letting me down, and they'll probably come out and carve up the Titans. Now the Roosters, were my tip to win the comp pre-season. Shows what I know, but I mean, they still might. I don't know. You never know. They might go on a 2005 run, but I don't know. There seems to be lots of cracks forming in Bondi. So, not the drug. That was a metaphor. Not actually talking about crack, the drug. But you've gone the Roosters, boys. Rob?
Yeah, I've gone the Roosters, but with absolutely no confidence. I mean, it's just a matter of who do you trust most, and I really don't trust either of them. Look, the one thing I just thought, Joey Manu's been in good form, even though he's been in losing teams. And, James Tedesco has been in horrible form, but to be fair, he was really good in State of Origin 3. He's had that little refresher. Like I say, it could go either way, Josh. I really didn't know who to tip here, but I just thought, fuck it, I'll tip the Roosters because, maybe with my weight on their shoulders, it could sink them to a loss.
He went to Byron Bay or something, didn't he?
I think they just gave him a spell, but it's a pretty weird thing to do considering, they even, Brandon Smith said, they had a season-defining game against Melbourne and, which they lost. So if your season's on the line, to rest your fullback is a pretty big call. So look, there might be more to it. We don't know, but, I guess player welfare is everything at the moment.
If the Roosters lose this one, they're pretty much out of finals contention. They're 4 points out of the 8, could potentially be
crazy
6 by the end of the round. So yeah, they need this one. This is pretty much their last chance for me. I've backed them a lot when I probably shouldn't have this year. And I don't trust either of these teams like Rob. So I'm going with the Roosters purely because I think the Titans are a lot more inconsistent. So Roosters, I think, are a bit of a safer bet.
Yeah, I don't even know how Robbo's not under pressure. He's got so much talent there, and they've gone absolute. Like you said, you guys tipped them to win the premiership, and I thought they'd be up there too, and they're just fucking awful. It's like a wooden spoon year for them the way they're playing.
What are they? They're only 6 points ahead of us, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're on 18.
8. They're, the Titans and Roosters are both on 20. Yeah. So whichever one of these two teams loses is going to find it very, very challenging to make the finals after this week. Potentially 6 points out of the 8.
We can catch the Roosters. Imagine that. We've all gone the Storm over the Knights. The Knights are at home. $3.30. That's not. I mean, they looked all right last week. 8.5 start they're giving. So, but Storm in this one, guys. The Storm, I don't know. They're not a little bit harder to pick this year, but I think they'll start hitting their straps.
Knights are playing well, but Storm too tough for mine. Like the Knights just have their little moments. Even against us last week, they could have put us to, after that pathetic no try that we got in the first couple of minutes, they could have run up to 30-0 and it ended up being 18-12 at halftime. Like they just don't know how to, go on with it sometimes. I know they did it against Canterbury, but the Storm are a different, kettle of fish. So I just think the Storm will win.
Just notice Kylie, Emmanuel, and Nick all mentioned apparently Tino's been suspended.
He has, yeah, for 3 weeks, I think.
Fuck me, my tips are terrible this week. I might have to change.
You think that's bad? Wait till we get to the next game.
Cowboys, Az and I, we've both tipped the Cowboys over the Eels. What have I missed in this one, Az?
Yeah, what have we missed?
RCG is suspended for 4 weeks, and so is Mike Acevo after failing at the judiciary to get a downgrade. So those are 2 big outs for the Eels.
Oh, that's good for us. We tipped the Cowboys. So Rob, standing by the Para. What's the matter?
Yeah, I'll stand by the Eels. I mean, I wasn't impressed with the Cowboys last week. 19-8. Manly was shit. Cowboys couldn't really put them away. They just hung on and hung on and hung on. I know it's up there. I know Para are missing players, but Ogden's a decent replacement. I mean, he's not RCG, but he's a decent replacement. Winger's a winger. Like, I don't think Sivo. I mean, Sivo's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like you're missing a halfback. And I just trust Moses and Gutherson more than I trust the Cowboys halfback and fullback. So it'll be a really, really tight game in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be one-way traffic. Although one of my best mates wants to have a bet with me about this because he's got the Cowboys as a banker on his multi, and I keep telling him Para are going to win. So look, I'll just go Para. I just love the way they play. Even when they lose, they just give it everything. So I'll go Para.
I think the Cowboys are on a 5-game winning streak now as well, so they're in form. They've got a milestone for Jake Granville as well, 200 games, so bit to play for up there. Both of these teams, I think, Para are currently 7th and the Cowboys are currently 9th, both on 24 points, so big ramifications for top 8 in this one as well.
Para nearly paying $3, Roberto. So if you do your try scorer multi in an Eels win, that's 18-1 there. So
I'm not confident. I just think they can just get it done. I actually think it'll be a low scoring game. But I don't know. I just think the Eels have to win, and the Cowboys are due for a loss, and they didn't impress me last week.
7.5 line in that one. Panthers are $1.04 favourites to the Doggies in this one. Bulldogs $11.
That's overs.
Last time I saw the Dogs were $12.50 and it was $1.03 for the Panthers. So that's swung a little bit.
Could the Bulldogs, because they scored, what they put up the other week? They put up a cricket score a couple of weeks ago. It was 60. Did they hit 60 or something?
They lost to the Knights.
They lost. I was against them. Okay, they might. Yeah. Maybe the Panthers can.
Then they put 30 odd on against the Rabbits the week after.
Yeah, I don't know what the line is, guys, but Penrith by 1,000. Honestly, like this is one game.
27.5.
Yeah, they'll cover that easily, unless it's raining. Unless it's raining, they will cover that easily.
And lastly, Cronulla Sharks. We've all tipped them. They're heavy favourites against Manly at home in the Shire. So, Sunday night at Northies might be a fun one for all the bogans in their Toyota Hiluxes in Cronulla.
Yeah, they got a couple of changes there too, Josh. But I think Cronulla will win, but not by much. That'd be a 1-12 game for me. They've dropped Talakai, believe it or not, who had a poor game against New Zealand, but scored 2 tries against us, and he's been relegated to the bench. So yeah, and I think they dropped someone else from memory. Name escapes me right now, but look, they seem to beat those lowly teams pretty well. But a Manly win wouldn't surprise me.
Anything to add to put a cap on that one?
No, that one's pretty much well summed up. I think the Sharks have the advantage here. They're good against teams that aren't in the top 8 and shit against teams that are. So back on the Sharks in this one.
Right, on to our Patreon questions. So we saved them from Monday night. So if you want to take part, join our Discord where the guys do drop their questions. Patreon.com/WestsLife. Support the show from just a few bucks a month. Kim just said on Facebook they dropped Matt Moylan. That might be who you're trying to think of.
That's the one, Matt Moylan.
That's why we do the show live. The people contribute. It's awesome. Righto, on to our Patreon questions. Matt MC says, it's starting to stink of 2018 again. Pascoe making signings that ended up making the coach, in brackets, Cleary, eventually leave. In my opinion, ignore the stories about him going back to the Panthers to coach his son so Nathan could keep playing with his mates. Pascoe signing Benji and Robbie sent the club backwards as their roles as players were poorly managed. I do not understand the Fulton signing. You think we would have learned not to sign anyone from Manly after the Matt Ballon failure? I could go on about all the dumb management decisions by Pascoe, but the board will not get rid of him as he meets all the KPIs he has been set. I have said this many times, but part of his KPIs should be the club making the finals and player retention and recruitment. Until this happens, we'll remain in a ridiculous cycle of failure. You obviously wrote that before we signed the Fainu brothers, which is thanks to Fulton. But more of a rant than a question there from Maddie. J Danger Ross, just a fun, light question. Sweet. That's we need a bit of fun as West Tigers fans. If you could pick Lee's next movie costume he has to wear on NRL 360, what would it be? My pick would be Jim Carrey's orange suit from Dumb and Dumber. Well, at least it'd be same colours then. But
I don't know what to say there.
I could see him getting his...
I had a chuckle at that question when I saw it on Monday night.
I could see him getting his tongue stuck on a chairlift at the snow, just like Harry.
At this point, I say, why doesn't he just go Jim Carrey from Liar Liar, especially the scene after he destroys himself in a bathroom?
Oh yeah, or the blue pen. The pen is blue. Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Ben Ellis asked, West Tigers are shit. It's still no excuse for the bunker to take away our fair tries. All Tigers fans want is allow players to be shit without help from the officials. Is that too much to ask? Example, let's allow no try. Yeah. It's yes, we get fucked over. And like I said, I need to compile every single time that they have fucked us over. Mitchie 101, he's just dropped in a talking about Lee Hadjibentelis' suit again. It's comparing it to Homer Simpson. This circuit did a bit of rounds on social media. It's Homer Simpson in his vision walking around. Trying to think of this scene. It's when he's eating a donut in Little Italy. I'm trying to think what episode that's actually out of. It'll come to me. And then Riff Raff, finally, dear Benji, glad to know you're a member of WestLife. Let me know if you need any further advice. Riff Raff, I don't understand that reference. So I missed something.
I don't know. Perhaps he suggested that Kapoa shouldn't be in the team and Will Smith shouldn't be in the team, and maybe we got those changes.
Possibly, I might have missed something in the conversation. The Discord's hard. There's so much going on in there. It's hard to keep up with it all at the moment. Oh, look at this. We're going to sneak in just under the hour mark. Thank you to all our Patreon members, patreon.com/WestLife. We'll review this game that's on in less than 24 hours. We're going to review it Monday night, 8:30 p.m. Join us live again. Boys, anything else before we head into the double West Tigers NRL round this weekend?
No, I'm just going to put it out there again. I'm looking forward to back-to-back wins this weekend from the boys and girls.
Can you bet? Yep. Can you bet on the girls' game? You can bet on fucking anything, can't you? But
you probably could, but I haven't looked. But we wouldn't be. We'd be outsiders as well. We'd be
No, there's
outside
market.
if there was betting.
We're 275. So 275 for the men.
Juicy odds.
And 240 for the boys. What does that make?
About $7.
That would make, $7. Oh, your math's good, Roberto. About $7 for a West Tigers double.
I'm taking
Gamble
it
responsibly.
I'm taking it. Get on. There's another one.
I've got 66 cents in my account for that particular one after my perfect round last week with the other 11,000 people joining me getting a perfect round.
You'll get that up to $4.52, Aaron. Get it on.
We're going to call you Rain Man, Roberto, with your mathematical ability. Or just from years of gambling, I'm just showing
off now. It's all good.
Know your times tables. Thank you to everyone who joined us tonight. Really appreciate it on a Wednesday night. And choosing us instead of watching the Ashes, which is going on in the background. I've actually kind of lost track of it. But good luck. Come on, the Aussies. Get the Ashes done. Come on, the West Tigers. Tomorrow, come on the West Tigers. Girls on Sunday. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. And we'll see you on Monday evening. As always, boys, go the Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
Go the Tigers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the WestsLife Podcast. Please follow us at WestsLife Pod on Instagram and Twitter, and facebook.com/WestsLifePod. You can also support and take part in the show at patreon.com/WestsLife, and give us a subscribe on YouTube and turn notifications on. We'll see you again next time on another episode of the WestsLife Podcast.